How was I in bed? I'm just curious to know. I'm curious to know.
Oh my gosh. Oh
I know
my.
I couldn't eat pussy to save my life, and you don't have to even lie and say that I was good at that. I know I couldn't. It just was. It just
It
wasn't my
wasn't for you.
thing.
And
It
that
wasn't for
kind
me.
of like, what
The
the?
way I was doing, right? It was just like not to put too much of your business out there, but to my advantage, I was fucking with a very clean woman, so it wasn't a bad experience.
Hmm.
Um, it just wasn't for me.
Hmm. Yeah. I want to say pretty good. Yes, yes,
You know
good.
what? I have told people when I talk about my straight experiences that it wasn't a bad one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just realized that I couldn't do that forever. But it wasn't bad. Like it
Hmm.
wasn't something that I'm just like, ooh, girl. Like, but yeah. Well, that's
Wow.
good to know. That's good to know. I actually wanted children with you. So I know that you had kids.
No, no, yes,
So
yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I remember you saying, I don't care if I'm with you or not, you're gonna be my baby mama. Like I remember
I
you saying
remember that. And that offer is still on the table if you want to be a surrogate. Um, But yeah, your babies are so beautiful. I joke with my mama all the time, and she thinks I'm playing, but I'm really not. She is going to have to like harass me for my kids because they
Mhm,
are my kids. So I'm
mhm,
not gonna push them off on anybody else. I'm gonna raise them myself. I wanna. That's why I want to be so successful to the point where like their first 5 years of life, I want to just take off.
mhm.
I want to go to the school. I want to be, the VIP parent. I want to be in the PTO. I want to do it all. And then once I see that they're like starting to like plant
Mhm.
their feet as individuals, and they can do that as early as 5. You can start to see personality traits. Once I see that they're good on their own, you go and
Mhm.
fly.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Oh God, I really want to do twins. I want to do a girl and a boy and get it out the way. Boom.
Yeah,
Like I want to get
that's
it out the
my
way. Yeah, and it's weird ways to do it now. Wife is
vibe.
actually a surrogate, so
Really?
yes. And she has already been a surrogate for a gay couple, so she is used to it and how it works. She's very expensive. Um,
Mm.
but I'm considering that, but I just don't as offered. That I will pass on. Walk me through how life has changed for you since we last, talked to each other in 2014.
Mhm.
Well, before you answer that question, answer this. When we stopped talking in 2014, did you think this moment would ever come?
Yes, yes,
You
definitely. Yes, I was so sad behind it, and like, man, I really lost a good friend and all of that. I never thought that it would just stop completely because we were always off and on, off and on, off and on. Some way, somehow, come back around. But my spirit, like I just knew, like God was saying, this is not done. Y'all are gonna cross paths again. Y'all gonna have this conversation. It's gonna come in its own time and when it's right. So I always felt deep down. I had dreams too, so I knew it. Thank you
okay.
for the compliment about my children, by the way. Thank
Oh, no
you.
problem. No problem. So yeah, how has your life changed from 2014 until now?
A lot has changed. My goodness. One of our last conversations, I had gotten married, 2 children, and started finding my path as far as career wise. But now we're gonna fast forward. I am divorced. I'm single now. Um,
What
yeah.
happened?
Ooh. It was just a lot. It was a lot. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. It was a lot. It was a lot.
How long was the relationship,
3 years.
including marriage?
Yeah.
So how early on into the 3 years did you notice that?
Wait a minute. Is it 5 or 3? Somewhere between
When we stopped talking,
there.
you had already met him at the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know y'all started in like 14.
And we ended last year.
So that's 5 years. Were y'all off and on, or were y'all just like
On But we had periods of separation, maybe
Okay.
twice. Some people get so attached that they don't know who they are anymore or really what they want. It's like an unhealthy attachment, and
Mhm.
it's almost like possessive. Like, it's scary. And I feel like I used to be like that with you.
I think I would agree. I was like that with you too. I think because astrologically we're perfect matches. Like a Leo and a Sagittarius are perfect matches. And I think what's so weird about us is that we should be the people who are just like, ugh, get away. Like, I don't like attachment, but we're the exact opposite.
Mhm.
And I think once we tap into our true selves, we'll find that healthy medium.
Yeah.
Like, find, the things to attach ourselves to, and we'll just find ease and just say, this isn't for me, and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about gay people spiritually?
Oh my God. Love y'all. Period. Like, I've never had this disdain. Like, I know what we were taught and church and all of that. And, we both grew up in a church, around church going people and all that. But I always feel like they're still human. Like, I can't imagine trying to doing these things. So I never had any ill will, like no ill feelings at all, ever.
There's a certain person, he's like my father's age, still there. We all know he's gay. But because he's not like prancing around with like the hair and the rainbows and has a boyfriend, y'all okay with it. So that lets me know that y'all, it's not even about how y'all see it biblically. It's just, don't make me uncomfortable. And as long as you don't make me uncomfortable, we cool.
Wait, is he married?
He's never been married.
Oh, yeah.
Never been married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of which, there have been a few married people that have, yeah.
What?
Well, we've never done anything, but they absolutely were like a little physical, and I was just like, whoa, like, did I just experience what I experienced?
You're kidding. Spill.
No, I'll tell you once we start recording.
Yes.
But yeah,
Tell you on camera too. You're gonna be like,
some of y'all secretly live these lives or are curious about our lives, and you curse it for what? For what? We're of no harm to you guys, and I feel like that's not what God wanted the church to represent.
mm-hmm.
Like, nobody wants to come. Like, for me, if I was not a Christian, why would I want to serve a God that's like, live for me and live like this and live by all of these rules? Or fuck you, and you can go to hell. And it's just like, what's up with, why would I want to stay there?
Mm-hmm. Have you been to that church in like recent times or anything? I know with the COVID, but
The last time I believe I was there was September of 2019. Got married.
oh, you know what? Someone was telling me. I think he got married, and then Dee Dee's baby shower. He was there with. I think a young lady was there then. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I think he got married. That's
He got married in September, and so I went to that. But every year I volunteer for Vacation Bible School. I love to give back because I remember what Vacation Bible School was for me. Mm-hmm. And even though it's nowhere near what it used to be when we were kids, because I remember back then we played Family Feud, like we played games, we had a great time. It's nowhere near that because it's not as many people. Yeah. But if I can give them a piece of the experience that I had, I'm cool with it. So every year I go back, and the next year that I go back, it'll be a little bit differently because my mind has changed and my perspective on life has changed. So I'm no longer gonna like feed into like the, what are you doing with your life? What do you know? It's gonna be like, I'm out of my business, and you, like, you back your ass up. So because I don't have anything to explain. And 30 hits you differently, and I know that you're a little bit younger than me, so but women mature faster than men. So I don't know if you've hit that moment, but 30 was just like a light switch went off, and I was just like, okay, this, but like everything that did not need to hold weight in my life, I cut off.
Yes. I'm
Yeah,
turning
you
30.
did. Yeah. And hopefully the pandemic will be cleared up so you can literally celebrate, because I was planning on going to Miami and it did not work in my favor. So my niece had a little girl, and not the youngest, but the one before the youngest. We share the same birthday, the exact day.
No
So
way.
yeah, yes. So she had an LOL surprise birthday party. So I went out to Katie and I had an LOL surprise birthday party, and I felt so happy. You know, I was around family, and you know, when you get older, family is what's most important. And
Yeah.
you know, I was cool with that. I've been around family for every holiday, so it's really kind of, even though it's hurt in a lot of ways, the pandemic has really helped. It's
Mm-hmm.
really helped me kind of hone in on who I am as a person and connect with the things that I really need to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
And being isolated in my apartment, I've had to face myself.
Me too.
I'm telling you, I've been angry with myself. I've been proud of myself. I've been ashamed of myself. I've
Mhm.
experienced all of those emotions, and I just kind of cleared all of the energy out. So now I'm in a better place.
Me too. I am as well. Will you ever go back and sing?
Um,
Too late. Too long. Too long.
not full time. Um, and probably not, because the most recent song that I am known to have led at that church was "I Know What Prayer Can Do,"
Mhm.
and nobody knows this, but no, I would say people in my family, but nobody knows this.
Mm.
My mom asked me when died. She said, "Really, really, 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 really loved your voice, and he really loved that song. So it would do my heart a great deal of joy, as well as the family, if you would sing that song." And I'm like, Mom, that is a lot that you're asking of me, because I've been having to contain my emotions all week, because my mom was just so discombobulated. I planned the entire program. You know, I chose the pictures. I approved the program. I was consoling everybody. I was the one going around picking everything up, and I only had short periods of time in my car to cry. I had no time to cry because I had to be strong for everybody else. And I already knew, get your tears out before you get to the funeral, because once you get there, you have four little ones that are looking up at you now, and you can't break down in front of them.
Mhm.
And I didn't think I could do it. So I said, under one condition. I'm really big on energy, and I believed that I was going to need to use pretty much all the energy I had
Mhm.
to get to that record, or to get to that song. So I made a pact with my mom. I said, if you want me to do this, I'll do it. But the only condition is I will never sing this song again.
Mm.
I will seal it with my brother, and I will leave it with him. But I will never sing that song again. And I think the bass player, I'm not gonna say any names. I think the bass player now sings that song. I think my mom told me that somebody sings some song that I used to sing, and I think it's the bass player. So if they're still getting it, you know, have at it. But I will never sing that song. If they ask me to do anything, I'll do it, because that woman to me is like Whitney Houston. I love Helen's voice. Her, since I was a kid, I always thought she was the voice.
The
But
voice.
yes, she was. Her, and it just pierces my soul. When she sings, I feel it. For real.
I do
But
too.
probably not. And then I'm not a member there anymore.
Yeah.
I just, you know, you guys are family, but don't utilize me just because I'm in the building. Go on as if I'm not here, which is why a lot of times when I do visit, I come late and I leave early. Like,
Mhm.
because I go to my church. My church starts at 1 when, you know, pre-pandemic. My church would start at 1, theirs would start at 11. So I would come around 12:15. I contact my mom, like, I'm out, you know.
Mhm.
And if you didn't catch me on the way out, then you didn't catch me.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, so for the past few times that I was there, I didn't see you or any of your people.
Well, my uncle, he has his own church now. It's a small little church. So what happened was when he went there, they went too. And they
Okay.
supported him. They're the church. Like they're the church. The drummer's here, then the drummer's not there, and then it's yeah. Actually, oh, and I sang my first like little lead there.
So you're a member there?
No, I'm not a member. No,
Oh.
no. Mm-mm. But
Oh.
I felt like that was big for me because I've always wanted
Yeah.
to sing, and I would always be like shy
Why did
about.
you never sing at our home church?
I don't know. I didn't have like the guts to really do it. I didn't have the guts to get up there like you and just.
I knew you were gonna go there. People may not know this. I'm sure you may not know this, but every time I sing in front of the congregation that we were raised in front of, I'm extremely nervous. Extremely. Even down to the funeral. Like I was like, if you look at the video, I think there's a video somewhere. You can see me take off my shoes because I was just like, oh my God, I need to ground. That's a part of anxiety, like dealing with anxiety. Part of it is grounding yourself.
Yeah.
And I need to feel something under my feet. So I was just like, let me take off the shoes because I was literally like shaking on my way to the microphone. And everybody was like, you're not saying it. I'm just like, please don't talk to me. Like
You would never know it.
I couldn't remember words. I had this lump in my throat.
You are extremely talented, and I always looked at you like this, like, oh, figure, like, man, you got it. Like, you have that star power, like that. You're very gifted, and I would never known. Like, I would never known that you're nervous or scared. You have so much power in your voice, conviction, and you're very anointed. And it's like amazing to witness, like to be there during your, journey when I was there. And I don't know if you still do music.
Yeah, I just released a rap song called Imitation. Did you hear that?
I did. Yes.
Thank you so much. This is crazy. And I know my friend YB, the person who I co-host the show with on Sundays, I know he's going to kill me because he wanted to break the story, but I might as well tell you. Imitation was the start of something. I was supposed to release a complete project by last year, but I just told myself, stop putting a timetable on it. It'll be ready when it's ready. Stop rushing it. You don't belong to a label. You don't belong to any timetable. So when you feel like doing music, do a record. And when you don't, take a break.
Oh.
What I was trying to do was cram it. Like I gave myself a time frame and I was like, I have to have all these songs in by this time. So I wrote, I'm a writer. So I wrote the records and I had like 10 records, but they weren't great records. They weren't imitation. They were just records, and I'm just like, I don't want to put out mediocre work and not be proud of it, down the line. Because I don't know if you noticed, because we stopped talking in 2014. Oh, and speaking of which, thank you so much. And I know you're like, for what? Your energy was very, very, very necessary at my brother's bedside. I was really going through it. And the fact that we had our differences, I had already come out. My hair was blonde, I think, at the funeral. And you still put all of that aside. I think we both put, the world aside because I needed you in that moment. Yes. And you were there for me. And I really, 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 really appreciate that. But after that, the following year, I put out a project called Dear Diary. We were already done talking about it. You heard it?
Yeah. Yes.
Gosh. Okay. So yeah, that came out. So since 2015, nobody has heard anything from me. So I wanted to start off with just a rap record because that's easy. I'm just not gonna even lie, that's easy. I knew I couldn't go wrong with a rap record. Nobody can really read my vocals on a rap record. So I put that out and it got great reception. So now the next little thing that I put out is going to be me singing because I didn't know until I did. I did an event on December 18th. I don't know if you saw the clip from it.
I did.
I was like, I miss your voice. I'm so glad you're back to singing. I didn't know how badly people wanted me to continue singing because a lot of times when you're out of sight, you feel like you're out of mind. And a lot of people really wanted to hear more music. So when this People will be hearing that I am putting out more music. I just want to announce a win because it's going to come out when it comes out, but more music is coming.
Hey, that's awesome. I'm so excited. And Hero, that was my mix.
Oh my God, Hero was, but you know what, to be truthfully, and I still have that music, even though it's not out on the internet. I have it on a flash drive. I have all of my own music on a flash drive. And sometimes I go back and I listen to Hero, and it's amazing to hear myself back then because the work was so good. Like, and I was so ahead of my time because I can put out some of those records now. And people would think that I just did it. Remember Medicine? I love Medicine. I can listen back to some of my records and just remember Bomb.
You don't know?
What?
That's
you don't know? Oh my God, that song. I sent you a horrible record one time called Bombs.
Yes.
It was, now that I listen back to it, it was, oh, that record was so bad. But that was around a time where I think you were figuring out things, and I was figuring out things, and I was just desperate, so I just threw something together. But yeah. So as far as your YouTube channel, do you have a date as far as
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I really want to put you on. I want to put some fire on you just to get it out because, don't sit dormant on it. If you know that you have a talent and you know that the world could benefit from it, don't sit dormant because a lot of these people, I want to get some work done, dental wise, but and I was somebody who was considering veneers, but when somebody broke it down to me, I was just like, yikes. He was like, do you really want to be 30 years old with dentures? You want to be 30 years old with a mouthful of dentures? And I was like, oh shit, that's really what it is. And people don't even understand. They're so caught up in the glamour and the vanity of it all that they don't realize you're putting dentures you don't even need in your mouth.
I be saying that.
Yeah. And then the upkeep, they don't understand. It's not like you just pop these teeth in your mouth and you're just good for the rest of your life. These teeth only last years. And if you don't have another 10 grand to put down, you're fucked. So this information can really help. Toothpaste could really help. A friend put me on to Arm & Hammer. It literally changed my mouth. And I'm just like, oh my God, a pre-rinse, a whitening rinse. That helps. People need to know the importance of flossing. So there's a lot of things that this culture could benefit from. And just your personality in general. I wouldn't necessarily, just subjugate yourself to dental if you don't want to. I mean, because you could share life stories. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be offended. Some people in this world are offended by their past. I would not be offended if you share some story times. You didn't have to say my name, but a time that, something funny happened, cause I did that one time and the guy was so infuriated with me.
What?
Girl. So I ended up going on a date with somebody and it was somebody that I had a past with. And I guess he wanted to get back together, but that's not what I wanted or whatever. So we go to the movies and he is really trying to pressure me. And I'm just like, why? I just don't want to be in a relationship with you. Damn. Homie got up and left me in the theater by myself.
What?
Yes, by myself. And I was just like, the movie's already paid for, so I'll just stay. And I told the story. I thought it was funny. Years later, I think he was watching Greenleaf because I do reviews. So I think he was watching Greenleaf on YouTube or something like that. And my review was in the recommended. And he was like, oh, that's Kat. So he clicked on the profile and I guess he went through the videos and saw that one story time. Wrote me on Messenger on Facebook and cursed me the fuck. I'm just like, dang. No. So I like to extend to people who I know are in the entertainment industry. As long as my information is not out and you don't just reveal my identity, if the story you're telling and it's good content for your brand, tell it. I absolutely am. People knew about you before they knew who you were. Only because we would talk about experiences and, have you ever been with a woman? I've been with one. So, in order for me to talk about that experience, I would have to, bring up.
I'm a part of your story. So it's inevitable. It's cool. Yeah. Cool. We learned a lot from it. And it was a good but challenging time, but it made us who we are now. And look at where we are. We're doing it. We're doing great. And this is wonderful.
Do you think our phase affected who we are today? Do you think we would be who we are if our situation never would have happened?
No,
Mm.
no, no.
How did I change you?
Oh my goodness. A lot of good ways, in a lot of good positive ways. Um, I remember when I was like so attached to you and like you were saying things like you had to work on you. Like you took those moments to really reflect and realize things that you needed to work on. And I felt like that was big, like self reflection and working on yourself. I really didn't know what that was at the time. I was just kind of like, going through the motions of life, but you had gave me a lot of good perspectives on a lot of different things. And I feel like I grew. I grew so much. I grew a lot in the way that I used to think.
I think you did grow too. I can definitely see and hear your growth. I know for me, I was taught to just face myself because you don't have to pull others into your world if you can just face yourself.
Yeah.
Also, I learned to just take my time and just listen to the stillness and dig deep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I didn't understand why I felt the way I felt. I wasn't intentional, and that's another thing I want you to understand too. I was never intentionally lashing out at you. That was just me trying to protect this person. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know why, and I would when we would get off the phone and you would cry and I would feel so bad, and we would get into arguments or whatever. I wouldn't understand why it just happened. I would be beating myself up like, why did you say that? Like, why were you acting like that? And I couldn't control the fact that I was so snappy towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in my own way, I was trying to save you from me. This isn't run. This isn't what you think it is. Please
Mm-hmm.
don't get caught up because this isn't what either of us believe this to be. And I couldn't force it. Oh my God. Now that I'm thinking about it, he told you what he told you.
Mm-hmm.
I told him and the person you questioned me about one night, we were all smoking in his apartment. And I said, y'all, I'm going to propose to for Christmas.
What?
I said that because I was just so hell bent on forging this life. I
Mm-hmm.
was I remember crying
Mm.
on the roof because you know how our house was made. Like you could go outside
Yeah.
on the
You
roof.
tell
I
me
was
about
sitting on the roof one night smoking, and I said, "Lord, just take my life because I would rather die than to not be in your world. Like I'm not trying to go to hell just for being who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know for a fact that I'm gonna go down this path again and I'm not supposed to, end it now while I'm still in your good graces."
Oh my God.
And I tried to cement that as much as I could. I remember doing a post on Facebook. A boyfriend before you had given me a Louis Vuitton backpack, and I had Noah's Ark on DVD. I just like photographed a box of me burning all that stuff, and I put this long post up. I was really just trying to die to my flesh every day.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, nobody that tells me to die to my flesh dies to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
Wait, so it was someone before me? Like it was a guy before me?
It was a guy in between.
No.
We were together, then we stopped, and then we got back together for that last time for maybe like a year. Because this was in 2011 that he gave me all this stuff.
Okay.
When we were kids, we were together. It was just you. And then when we stopped, I tried to explore that. That's when people were hitting you up. I was in the club or whatever. I was with him.
Mm-hmm.
I was with him in the club, and I was living my life. It was, it was like a kid in the candy store. Like I just was doing everything,
Mm-hmm.
literally. We'll talk about that too once we get up. But
Mm-hmm.
I was just like living my life. So after that ended, that was around the time where the two individuals came to our church. And that was weird for me. And I understand why Pastor was so susceptible to that because we had never been a church that spoke in tongues
I
or
know.
so it was just like, why is this appealing to you? Like this isn't even what we do as a church. And apparently they cast whatever demon out of me. And apparently they're not very good at it because if they cast it out,
Right.
I mean,
Well,
but I mean, but if anything, they just made it like dormant. But I think for me, I was conscious the entire time. Nobody casted anything out of me. I knew what was expected after this ritual was over.
mm-hmm.
So I gave them what was expected. All of that was me physically concealing and containing who I was to please other people. And that was so, so exhausting. And I think you taught me just to love people anyway. You know, be yourself and explore who you are, but you did teach me humility and empathy. I think I'm an empath because of you. Like I literally feel what other people feel and I can relate. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate those two individuals. I don't hate pastor. I don't hate that church, which is why I still visit sometimes. But I know that you're not right for me. I know that. And it's okay. You can outgrow people sometimes.
That's true.
Iyanla Van Zant said something that really stuck with me. She said, you don't get to tell people how to love you. You get to see how they love and decide whether or not it works for you.
Okay.
Them. I'm not going to tell you how to love or accept me. I
Mm-hmm.
see how you love, see how you treat people like me, and decide whether or not I want to participate. And I don't. And I come along for certain things, and if I don't want to, I don't want to. And now, me being 30, I can set those boundaries with my parents because for a long time, my mother was always okay. My father, with me being gay, it was a lot, and then with me not going to that church, it was a lot. So it was like a double whammy.
Yeah.
And I had to basically say, listen, I'm going to move out, and I'm going to be my own entire person, and I'm going to walk away from you. But the door to my heart is going to be approachable. Now, I'm going to lock the door, but if you knock, I will answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to come outside of the doors of my heart to look for you. You're going to have to be like Jesus, come to the door of my heart, knock, and I will accept you. Because I didn't shun you out, you did it to me.
That's right.
Same way with the church. It's just like, y'all cool. I won't trust you as far as I can see y'all, but y'all are cool. You just got to know how to categorize people. And
That's right. That's how I do with my family. And I also want to say, I don't want me to cut you off, but you taught me bravery. You taught me how to be brave and to, after the fact, just live honestly, just be transparent. And I became, after the situation, very blunt. I became tougher and very more blunt with people. If I felt like something wasn't for me or felt like something wasn't right, I was not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to tell you.
that was during us too. I remember before, and let me just say, I'm brave because I want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. Like if I had my way, I would still. I tell people all the time, I don't desire, but my heart gleams when I see Black heterosexual love. When I see a Black woman, a Black man, Black kids, and I see a Black family out, I'm just like, I don't want it for myself, but I like to see it. But I had to force myself to live because if not, then I would just be living in a prison. But when we took our break, I was dealing with men, and apparently you were too. And we both had we both had a fetish for thugs. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Oh.
Yes, we both had a fetish for thugs. And when you came back into my life, you had this new like spice and like pop about yourself. I remember one time it was about, oral sex, and I was like, I don't really want to do it. And you was like, well, homeboy eat my pussy and he eat it good. And I was like, oh well, like you really was just like very blunt and you were very like cutthroat, and I noticed that change, and although I respected it because it gave you a sense of power, I felt bad because I felt like I had turned you into that savage. But I think also you need it. We all need it,
I don't look at everything so bad. I don't look at
it's not being you need balance, and I think being soft all the time can be a crutch and a handicap, and it can be to your detriment. So sometimes you need that like kick fire to just be like, bitch, back up off me. But I definitely noticed it.
I always felt like I want to have this closure with you and this talk, and I felt like it definitely was not finished. Like it was unfinished business, period. And I would just question a lot. Like I would always ask, like, why, like how? It was just a lot. You taught me strength, like how to be strong and just walk in my truth and don't be unapologetic about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
your life, take control of it. And we've been through a lot. We had a lot of traumatic things happen in our lives, and I feel like that's where we connected as well, and understanding each other in that aspect. With my family being so controlling and going through all of that I had went through, it really morphed me into this woman that I was like, I needed to be. Yes, I feel so good now. I feel so free. I healed a lot of things. There were some things that I felt like I would probably need years to heal from. It took that pandemic of last year for me to sit down, and it was just like I just really did the work, and I'm good. Sad to say, some people, they still have work, but everybody is in their own process of life. Some people may be here, some people may be there, but thank God I'm not where I was.
Right, right. Do you think if our situation would have never happened, do you think the dynamic with your family would have still been the way it was right now?
Oh yeah.
So my situation helped open your eyes to the moves
Yes,
you.
yes,
Wow.
yes. And it's a lot of things you don't even know that they did. Like you're like, oh, you feel like they were acting like this or whatever with you. I got it 10 times worse. Like seriously. I felt like I was in intervention mode with them. Like they looked at me like I was a piece of crap. Like they treated me bad, bad.
I remember you would go to poor thing. Now looking back, I just my heart. I remember you would I need to light my blunt for this. I remember you would literally go to like family gatherings and like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that, and you would be on the phone with me and like have to go into like a separate room because it was just like I don't want to be here. The energy is just so horrible, and I'm just like I just felt so badly because I felt like all of this was at the helm of my feet. Like this was because of me that they were treating you like this, and because when we first started talking with the newsletter and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um I never would get a notion that you like had this bad energy with your family. It wasn't until we got really intertwined and they saw how serious we were that they were
Mm-hmm.
just like, treating you like crap. And they would be very passive to me, and I hated that. Ever since a kid, I was just like, give me what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like me, don't like me. Just give me that energy. But don't act like you like me and you talking about me the whole time. Your mom really was at the top of my list at one point because she
I
would.
feel like she secretly admired you though. I feel like sometimes it's something in you that they wish they had or they can be.
Mm,
And I always felt
that's what hurt me the most because me and your mama was tight. Before us, we
she
were
liked
tight.
you. Like,
And I remember talking to her, and she would just be like, "Baby, I understand." Like she would kind of tell me my own in her own way, like, "Find yourself." Like whatever y'all decide to do is y'all's business. Just don't hurt my daughter. And I'm just like, "Yeah, okay, cool, whatever." But when I saw her in physicality outside of her home, cause your mama was cool when I would come over, bro. Like she would be so cool. But at church, your mom was a beast. Like she was horrible to me, and I think you you would have to know to understand it because if you would just see our dynamic, you would just think that she was hard on me because when we were seen around each other, it was during the time of the play. So she was just being a tough director when really she was like throwing daggers. I remember I prayed one time and y'all was just like, why is he praying? Like he's a demon, he's a heathen. Well, not y'all, but like everybody in the circle. But your mom was the one that asked me to pray. But I remember like opening my eyes during the prayer. And
yeah.
like everybody was kind of looking at each other like, girl, he's the one that's praying. And I'm just like, and do I not have access to God? Because
Right. Ugh,
it was
Jesus.
horrible.
They didn't even like my husband, ex-husband. Like, y'all
Are they
don't
like
like,
me?
they gave him a hard time, like serious drama behind that too. Like,
So
well,
maybe it's just you in general, whoever you decide to link with. It's just a problem for them because me and your ex-husband, I'm sure, are two totally different people, and for them not to like us both says a lot. I think you were the one they knew they could probably control. They knew they couldn't control your older sister, and your younger sister proved very early on that she was going to be her own person. And because you were like the kind hearted, like sweet, loving sister, they feel like they could manipulate you better than they could the
Yeah.
others.
And I didn't have my dad or that side of the family, so I was just really stuck. Like I had no choice but to deal with these people, and they were just like monsters. Like,
How is that?
hmm. I'm gonna. That's probably some good stuff to put on a YouTube, but because I know it's a lot of people that go through these things, and my heart goes out. My heart goes out. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever. But it's a such thing as like a toxic mother or a toxic like their relationships like that, and it's tough. But I'm here. I healed a lot of that. I forgive, and I'm okay.
Okay.
But it was very, very hard. And I felt like you were like my saving grace. Like,
So, is there anything that you like to tell people in a situation like ours? What would you tell somebody in your situation? What advice would you give? And what would you tell your younger self?
no, these are good questions. Like you're just throwing them. What would I tell them? Accept it. Like accept it for what it is, and it's not always you. Like don't think that it's you or you're I don't know if this is the right words, but like the problem, like you're the issue. Those are very good questions. What advice would I give? I don't really know. I didn't think of this. Just take it for what it is. Everybody don't have ill feelings. When you're going through something like that, it's heavy. It's big. I've actually seen. I think wasn't that on Greenleaf?
Yeah, that was absolutely on Greenleaf in many capacities.
I saw that and thought of it. Um, my younger self, I would say, just to find myself, just to find who I am and stand firm in that. Like, don't let people try to control so much of your life. Find what makes you happy and go from there. Don't let nobody be a dictator. This is your life. You have to live it.
The advice I would give somebody in this situation, if they were me, well, first, if I was giving advice to somebody in your perspective, I would say just be patient. Like you said, understand that you are not a problem. You did nothing wrong. And coming to terms with who you are is a lot harder than people think it is, especially
Mhm.
when you're taught that who you are isn't accepted by your society, not the world as a whole, just your society. Somebody in my shoes, um, be patient with yourself, but be honest with yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, you know you better than anybody else. So if you feel something, lean into that and explore it. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing unholy about it, I believe. I think sexuality is also spirituality. And I think you need to travel a journey, and kind of trek through life's whatevers to figure out which path is for you. And yeah, be honest with yourself and be honest with those around you as much as it allows.
Yeah.
Not everybody is in a situation like me. At any point, I could have told my parents I was gay, and they would have reacted however they would have reacted. But I would have never been put out or,
Mhm.
decided by the family or anything like that. So, as much as the situation allows, be honest with those around you because it's only going to help.
Right.
And um, trust yourself.
Mm.
Trust that what you feel is
Yeah.
what you're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
a lot of times I felt a lot of things and I was just like, this isn't right. This isn't right. Who gave me the feeling? It's a natural feeling. Like when you're attracted to somebody, nobody forces you to feel anything. You see somebody and something in you reacts to what you see. That's natural. You didn't train anything to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Trust yourself. What you feel is what you're supposed to feel. And how you're made is how you're supposed to be. So this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having this with me and agreeing to do this on camera. I know this is not traditional or something that most people would be open to doing, but luckily, um, my ex is somebody who is in the entertainment industry, so it worked out for me. But for those who don't already know, actually my ex-girlfriend, the only girlfriend I've ever had, and right around
Wait,
the yeah,
really?
Sasha never existed. I made her up completely.
Well, I'm not the only person making it. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, Sasha never existed. But we've never talked. It's been about 5 years and we have not spoken at all before this moment. We had a couple messages shared on Instagram, but this is the first time we are seeing each other face to face and having a conversation about things that have needed to be discussed for a very long time.
Yes.
In the future, I really do encourage everybody to have these conversations. They are tough. So sometimes live streaming or doing a Skype situation would help the situation and make it a little bit more personal and conversational. But it's really time to heal. You know, if we have learned nothing else in 2021 already, we are in
Mm-hmm.
desperate need of some healing. And
Yes.
this is very therapeutic, and I hope that it blesses and helps someone. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually think I want to have you on for a kitty box episode.
What?
Yeah, I just gotta, warn you. It's along the lines of, like sex, and you're gonna have to really indulge. So, I don't know how holy you are, but like my cousin Danya, he's like a holy Helen now, so I would never ask him to do it. So if it's something that is too, listen to it. It's on Spotify. So if it's something you'd like to do, then let me know. We're kicking off the second season relatively soon, and it'll be in this format. So,
Okay.
and this is another exclusive. The Kitty Box is coming back, but we didn't tell them that it will be visual this time.
Oh,
Yeah, but I would love to have you on just to talk
I
about.
would love to. Yes, I'm coming back.
Absolutely. So, is there anything you want to leave with the people, where they can reach you? Any last words? Any parting message?
I'm just so grateful for this moment. This has been so long. And I would always think within those 5 years or so, oh, what if I run into him? Like, how would that be? Like in person, in passing, like awkward or hey, or, like, so this was, I really needed this. I'm very happy that we had this conversation. I'm so happy that you're doing great things. Um, where you can reach me, Instagram at Lisha Michelle, LISHAMICHELE. And yeah, that's pretty much it on that. I can't wait for the rest of these collabs that I'm really excited. And
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do my YouTube. So look out for that.
Well, y'all, this has been a Kiki with Cat. This is one for the books, actually. Like, I never thought this was gonna happen. I did, you knew, but I never thought that this was going to happen, and I'm so
Not
glad.
this way.
Yeah, I'm glad that it did. But yeah, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing, and that your notifications are on. Until next time, same place, same time.